your authentic self. Beloved, but sadly, this problem has not gone away. We still got this problem. For many of our house of worship are affected by this lack of what God would want his house to be like, authentic. For Christ said in his word, my house should be a house of prayer, but we find so little prayer going on in his house. Oh, I've got to commend our prayer warriors on last Thursday, those 4 led prayer on Thursday. We've got to remember that prayer goes first. We've got to remember the power of prayer. We've got to go back to prayer. For he says, my house will be a house of prayer. But we find so many churches have no need also for missionary work, for they have dropped the missionary off of the marquee. That's old school. We ain't no missionary church. We got a jacked up, cool name, but we don't want to be known as missionary. Didn't you know? Don't you know that God said, go ye therefore into all the world, teaching and letting folks know that the sin of man, there is a Savior who has come. But we don't want to do any missionary work. We don't want to get our hands dirty. We want what can come in our hands, but we don't want to let nothing leave our hands. But the Lord says, you got to go back to your authentic self. And so beloved, the church house needs to return back to its authentic self. Can I get a witness, y'all? Talk back to me this morning. I'm so glad I'm not in my family room talking to that camera. I got some voices out there who I should already be able to hear say a word for God this morning. Yes. What we used to call worship is no longer worship. Now, I'm not saying change shouldn't happen, because I know when I came here at Beulah, I changed some things. Yes, you've got to move forward and progress. But beloved, there are some things that we should never forget. For the house of God and worship, we've got to remember that there were some things that kept us strong. And while we may move to a new era, we should never forget them, for we should bring them along with us. What are you talking about, Pastor? I'm talking about hymns. Well, I know it's great to have contemporary music. Oh, I love contemporary music, but there's nothing moves my soul like a Dr. Watts. There's nothing that moves my heart when I'm going through something like a charge to keep I have and a God to glorify. There's nothing that moves my heart like I'm bound for Mount Zion, way out on the hill. If anybody make it, surely I will. There's nothing moving like I'm glad salvation is free. Free for you and free for me. Somebody talk back to me again. I'm so glad that there's a great camp meeting on the hill. When my Lord calls me, I must go. There's a great camp meeting. That was my father's great song, on the hill. Oh, I know there's nothing like those hymns. For when my soul needs nurturing, Jesus, keep me near the cross. I don't know about you, but there's nothing better than hearing Jesus keep me near the cross. So, beloved, we've got to remember that we got to go back sometimes or go bring along these things and keep them as they were authentic to the church.